everybody, and welcome to another Dakman Productions podcast. This will be podcast number 6. In this podcast, we'll make some general discussions, and we're also going to discuss my decision on not to attend any more public garden railway tours. But before I begin, I would like to thank everybody for their comments and suggestions. And the fans who, write me and email me, even send me messages through Facebook Messenger. And then I have a couple who even have my phone number and they call me. So I appreciate all the suggestions and comments that I get because it tells me what the audience you want from me or would like to see from me. And it keeps me steering in the direction to bring you content that you're wanting to see on YouTube, and hopefully, I keep growing in that direction, gearing everything towards what you guys like to see, and I put a spin on things, and I still produce things the way I like to see it as well. So I'm producing things that I like, you like, so. Hopefully, between all that, you guys will be happy. And also, for those of you who are wanting to know what Dakman Productions means, or Dakman, or how I came up with that name, you're going to want to watch podcast number 1. I give you the history of that podcast. And by the way, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Sean Conahey. So that would probably help if I had done that at the beginning. But, I just naturally assume that most of you guys already know who I am. But anyway, moving on. So you'll see that I got a new shirt design. I bought this shirt, or had this shirt made up so people would more easily recognize me while I'm out at the train shows shooting video or film, and then they'll know, hey, that is the Dakman. And that brings me to another thing is people are still having a hard time saying Dakman. They're saying Darkman. I went to the Edison train show and somebody shouted, Darkman in the house. And thank you for the recognition, but it's actually Dakman, not Darkman. And like I said, I explained the history of Dakman and how I came up with that name in podcast number 1. So you're going to want to watch that if you want to, if you're interested in the history behind that. So moving forward, I've been to, like I said, I've been attending train shows and other meets in the meantime, and it's been very wonderful hearing from people. And they come up to me and they like this particular video or they like that particular video, and then they'll actually, some of them have even made suggestions, and I take them and I run with them and create the stuff, and I'll even watch other YouTube channels as well to see what they're doing, and see what ideas they're coming up with, and hopefully that gives me some idea, not to copy it, but to turn that, spin it into something different that the material I can use. And speaking of which, you'll notice that I've been teaming up with a YouTube channel called Mr. Pictovid. It's actually a guy that I know pretty well. He's from the G-Scale community. He's a great guy, and he decided to start a channel, and he's just starting out. And so we team up with different videos, and how we decide to do that is if he has videos and he doesn't have enough content time to make a movie or video from all that content, he'll pass it on to me. I'll combine it with my own, and then I'll come out with what I called a team-up video. And that's where Dakman Productions and Mr. Pictovid team up together, because the content within that movie is both mine and his. So far I've been pretty happy with how the movie's come out, because he has a different perspective of videoing that I do like. So it brings that into that different perspective, brings that shows in that movie, and with my perspective, the two different perspectives in this movie is showing, and I think it makes for a better movie. And so far, the Smoking Oak Garden Railway, which we did together, has been really popular, and so people do like that. Seem to like that team up, and I'm not afraid to team up with anybody. So I do like doing things like that, and YouTube channel owners are like, they want their content and their content only, and you gotta look at it this way. Most of us ain't gonna get rich from doing this. That's for sure. Very, very few do get popular or make money. People probably think, oh yeah, he's making a ton of money. No, I'm not. Which brings me to my next subject, because I hear that often, and I want to debunk a lot of that. That I'm making a ton of money. So basically, I got on YouTube for one reason, or a couple reasons. One, to promote the model train hobby. That was my goal from the very beginning. And most people were thinking, no, your goal was to make money. No, it's not. I don't make a lot, not a lot of money at all. So my number one goal was to promote model trains in general, whether it's O gauge, G scale, N scale, HO. I've done quite a few different videos. I even done full size real thing, excursion trains and stuff like that. So with that in mind, the goal was to, like I said, to promote this hobby, but I had to find a way to cover my costs, because going to these shows is not cheap. You got the gas, you got the tolls, sometimes you got hotels, then you got the food, then you got to get into the show, and the people like me who get into these shows or on these tours or do these things, it's not free for us. We're not VIP, news or anything like that get our way paid into doing these things. The money comes out of our pocket. So the goal was to have YouTube pay my way towards going to these train shows. And, so all my money that YouTube makes, 100% of it goes towards me attending the train shows. For the gas, for the tolls, for the entry fees. It's all used for that. And to give you an idea of how costly it is, in 2018, I lost $1,200. Meaning, there was $1,200 that I spent out of my own pocket going to train shows. And that was, for me, it was totally unacceptable. And I blame myself because I didn't keep track. So that's the way it goes when you don't keep track of what you're doing and what you're spending. And that could have been $1,200 towards my household expenses or towards Conahay Rail. So YouTube, my YouTube channel pays for me attending shows, and that's it. It does not pay for anything on Conahay Rail. That stuff comes out of my own pocket from my job. YouTube pays for all the shows, and that's all I use it for. And I don't mind taking $100 loss or $50 loss, but $1,200 I just can't do that anymore. That was the first year I ever lost that kind of money. This year I've been pretty picky about where I've been going, what I choose and where I choose to go. So now I'll look at the show and I'll see what clubs are there. Unfortunately, if there's certain clubs that are out there, or certain things that are not going to be there, I'm not going to go. I have to be picky. I have to be choosy until my channel, starts making a little bit more money than what it has been. But on the other hand, you have other people out there, other YouTube channels that don't do what I do. They just sit at home and then they review their own train layout, and then that's it. So that's that's what makes my channel different, because I get into going to training shows. I go to club meets, and I go to other model train related events, open houses, as well as working on my own layout. So I bring a lot more broader amount of things to the audience rather than just showing off what I have here. I get involved with the community and as well. And that brings me to another point. Is one of my fans called me up and made a few suggestions, and they were saying how people are watching your videos, they're watching them, but they're not commenting. There's not a lot of comments, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, because I'm sort of like a little disappointed that there's not a lot of comments, because I really actually look forward to the comments. I really do. I like seeing them, and if you notice, on those who have commented on my videos, you'll notice I'll actually respond to them through the comments. So about roughly 98% of the comments that have been posted so far, I've responded to, and the other percentage, well, really, I thought it wasn't necessary that they needed a comment. So please feel free to comment. I like seeing your comments. I want to see suggestions, and I like reading the comments, and I actually look forward to them. I check for them every day, and you get a couple here, you get 3 there, 4 there, but for the most part, doesn't seem like a lot, unless people are just enjoying and they just want to move on, and that's fine too. But just so that you know, I do look forward to the comments on my videos. And speaking of going to shows, that brings us to our next subject. I posted, which a lot of people are probably going to want more explanation on this, but I made a post on my Dakman Productions Facebook page that I'm no longer going to attend public garden railway tours. So let me give you a little history behind that before I explain what's going on and why. So I started going on these these public garden railway tours. It's where you go to a place. You grab a map. On this map, there's different places on this map that are having a garden railway on display, and you drive to these places. You get so much time to do this. Mind you, so much time. So some of these things start at 12 and end at 5. That gives you, if you have, like 10 layouts, that doesn't give you a lot of time if they're spread out. So you might get like 8 to 10 minutes per layout, maybe the max 15 before you got to move on to the next one. So there's a lot of time management involved with going to these public garden railway tours. So I've been going to these tours and shooting video, assuming that since they are public, that they were all open to having video shot of their garden layouts. And I was sadly mistaken, as I encountered an issue with someone who was very unhappy that I did a video shoot on their layout and they did not want it on YouTube. So I had to remove the video. And then when I talked to the host about this, and I said, I thought, public, these public garden railway tours were just that, were public, and he told me that was which made sense. He told me it was a gray area because even though it's public, the layouts are still on private property, and you have to respect their privacy. So I do get that part of it, and I did understand. So after that, I just started going to places that I knew personally or knew from Facebook or Facebook friends, garden railway tours. And then I did get permission from the host of the 2018 NGRC tour in Georgia to grab video and shoot video down there during the tour. I had my eyes on doing another convention, but unfortunately they replied back there would be homeowners that probably would not want their railways on video. So I decided, because of the liabilities and because of the timeline management, I don't actually have the time to ask. Well, for one thing, to spend $2,000 to go to a tour anywhere. That's what it costs between hotel, tolls, and stuff like that. Anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 just to get there, and then you're spending, and then back home again. But then you're going to go to these tours, and then I have to ask every homeowner, okay, can I have permission to video this? And if they say no, then it was a waste of trip there. Then it keeps going on and on and on. And because of time management, I don't have the time to ask every homeowner if I have permission. Sorry. It would have been nice if they would have just, maybe these tours can provide a list of people, they allow video and photos here, but not here. And that would probably be more helpful, but I didn't get that. So I figured it wasn't worth the headaches, and it's not worth my aggravation. It's not worth my liability to attend public garden railway tours anymore. However, with that being said, I am open to private invitations. So if you have a garden railway and you're doing an open house and you'd like to have me shoot video of it, send me a message, shoot me an email, send me a message on through YouTube, or send me a message on Facebook. I'll leave my email link in my comments as well, in case you're interested in having me shooting a video. Mind you, within a certain distance, because I had somebody, which I thought was kind of cool. I had somebody actually invite me to a private invitation to a G-scale layout in Canada. Well, unfortunately, that's a little too far for me, and not only that, I don't have any paperwork to leave the country. So, yeah. So, anyway, so if you have a G-scale layout and you want to give me a private invite, even if you're already on a public tour, remember, I'm not going. So if you're on a public tour and you make sure, if you want me to shoot video of your layout, you're going to still have to give me a private invite stating, yes, I'd like you to come and shoot video of my layout. It's fine. And then we're good to go from there, because I know you want me there. So that explains why I'm no longer doing public garden railway layouts, but I will still do video if you give me a private invitation, and that makes more sense to me, more business sense, and it gives me the entire day or half a day, whatever you want me there for, to get everything in that I need to get in. So moving forward, let's talk about Conahay Rail. Conahay Rail, the future of Conahay Rail. I've been mulling over, wanting something more modern on Conahay Rail, and because I've been collecting and buying more modern stuff like TTX road names, GATX, stuff you would see today. And I also put together a refrigerated train, or reefer train. And I'm just looking for the right railroad name to pull it all with. So the railroads I've been considering is Norfolk Southern, CSX, BNSF, and Union Pacific. Then it came down to BNSF and Union Pacific. Even though I'm in the Conrail, Norfolk Southern probably would have been made more sense, but not for what I'm pulling. And besides that, those alert locomotives I really don't like. So it was between BNSF and Union Pacific. I went to a train show in Edison not too long ago. And I was talking to a club member there, and I was telling him this story because I couldn't make up my mind. And then he told me the story about, have you heard of the Union Pacific Salad Shooter Express? I said, no, I haven't. I didn't even know there was such a thing. He goes, yeah, it's called the Union Pacific Salad Shooter Express. It actually pulls a refrigerated train from Washington to New York. I said, wow, I didn't know about this. And so that made me lean more towards the Union Pacific route name, since the main reason why I wanted something more modern is because, I was putting together a refrigerated train, and that just wouldn't look right on a pulled by a Conrail. Unless it was a Tropicana train, but that's a whole other story. But anyway, so I went on YouTube, and I found a video that I really liked of the Union Pacific Salad Shooter Express. And it was being pulled by two Union Pacific ES-44 AC locomotives with the flag logo on it, which was already the locomotive I was looking at that Lionel is supposed to come out with in December. And that just made my mind up right there when I seen that video. I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is the way I'm going. So I'm probably going to end up getting the Union Pacific ES-44 AC flag locomotive in December. Somebody had mentioned that to look correct, you probably would need the Union Pacific flag SD70 ACE or ACE as well, and yeah, I've been eyeing that up as well. So, but there's only so much funds and the budget when you're buying trains, and everybody knows that because of how expensive they are. Sometimes it takes me months to build up a collection, or even a year and a half before I have everything put together that I want to run a train. Because I don't make six figures a year. But anyway, so that's where I want to head with Kanahe Rail, is putting something together more modern, and also for the audience. And speaking of Kanahe Rail, you guys have noticed that I've been doing what's called a narrative series, where I've been shooting video, or producing video that is, where Kanahe Rail went through different stages. Then I show you the video of the train running through the different stage of builds and stuff like that. And I see you guys like those videos a lot, and so I would continue on with the narrative series as well. I didn't realize that people were really into those kind of videos, because my first narrative series was when I did reconstruction and went from 054 to 072. So I thought, people aren't going to understand if I just put in text. I had the idea of, I'll just put text in there. So that's not going to go well. People are not going to read during the video. So I decided to do a voiceover narrative video, and people went crazy over it. And so I got the idea, okay, well, they like that so much, I'll continue the series with Kanahe Rail. And I'll probably do other narrative series as well as time allows. And just also a reminder that the Dakman Productions podcast videos are always commercial free, always ad free, for your viewing pleasure. And once again, I want to remind you guys that I want your comments, I want your suggestions. I like hearing from you guys. I don't mind if you guys are sending me emails. I even had fans. I have people who send me messages in Facebook Messenger, as well, and that's fine. I'll accept your message as well. If I see it, because sometimes it's hard to see a message if you're not on my friends list. So if I see it, I will respond to it as well. As long as I recognize or see that it's a fan. I do get my share of spoof messenger coming through as well. So I'm sure there's a lot of guys in Facebook who's also gotten spoof messages or friend requests from these so-called women, which are really fake profiles. Just trying to get a list of friends to keep spamming everybody. But I'm very careful with who I accept as a friend. So, but at any rate, I hope you guys understand my concerns and decision and about the not going to these G-scale public garden railway tours anymore. So it's just a decision that made the most sense to me. But I'm going to keep going on. I will keep you guys up to date with the East Coast large scale train show. I'm still going to go forward with that. That moved from York, Pennsylvania, and will be now hosted at the Maryland State Fairgrounds in Maryland. So I will still continue that. I will still continue doing the train shows with O-Gauge and G-scale as well. Other scales if I'm already there. Also, if you're having an open house, if your club is having an open house in your O-Gauge, and you want some video shot, just send me a message with that too. I'm always open, for invitations, and I'll see what's already on my schedule, because I do have right around 3 or 4 scheduled right now, so I'm gonna be pretty busy in the month of September coming up. So make sure you look out for those videos. And also, speaking of upcoming videos, I have been requested for a follow-up video on the Lionel 86-foot box cars and the kinetic couplers. So look for that in the future. I will be doing a follow-up video because it has been requested. So in the follow-up video, I will do a recap and everything that's happened, and then what I did to solve the problems. So you might want to look for that if you have one of those Lionel 86-foot box cars. And once again, thank you for watching. Thanks for joining in with the Dakman Productions podcast. My name is Sean Conahoney, and we'll see you later.